오른쪽에 어디로 드릴게요?
몰아주게 되기도 하고 사지에 힘이 풀리기도 하고 일단 혀를 길러
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Never the same. Whenever you're calling my name, I'm taking my sweet time. Whenever the play, I know I'm holding the best of me out of my head. I know you'll always understand. Bring me into golden sunlight.